Hello viewers, you're watching Man English. This is our program, Diplomatic Corner. Today I'm sitting with Dr. Taye Tolera, a Senior Program Director at Big Win Philanthropy. It is a foundation based in London, UK. We're going to talk about early childhood development in Addis Ababa and the children and the youth in the continent Africa. Stay with us. Well, Doctor, welcome to the program. I really thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jonas, for having me.
Big Win Philanthropy, it's a foundation that partners with visionary leaders, particularly in developing countries. So would you tell us what is the objective of this foundation?
Yeah, the objective of the foundation, as I said, is, as you just mentioned, we work with government leaders who are committed, who are driven, and who are visionary to make transformative changes to their citizens and their country. And yeah, we work, we have our sort of focus areas, but we are guided by the government priorities. For instance, what are the priorities of the government of Ethiopia? What are the priorities of, for instance, the regional government of Amhara or Oromia? And we rally behind their priorities, and we sort of try to support the government to achieve its transformative goal and make changes or impact to its citizens. So in Addis Ababa in particular, we work with Mayor Adanech in early childhood development space. She actually sets very, very ambitious goal of making Addis Ababa the best city to raise children. So this is her mantra, and she also, her legacy goal is around making children of Addis, all children, 1.3 million children, to be developmentally on track in terms of psychosocial, in terms of motor, language, and socio-emotional development. And she has this very ambitious plan, ambitious goal, and that ambitious goal and the plan is actually shared by her team and her cabinet members. And she also has building blocks to sort of achieve the ambitious goal she set. For instance, she well, of course, working with her cabinet members, for instance, with the Bureau of Health, she recruited and deployed 5,000 parental coaches to provide nurturing care and early stimulation counseling at household level. This is a very, very big undertaking, and this is also the backbone of the early childhood development. And she also is developing playgrounds, daycare centers, and she's transforming pre-primary schools so that play-based pedagogy is implemented, or play-based pedagogy is actually used in all pre-primary schools. So we understand, well, I mean, the goal is very ambitious, it's transformative. The key levers, the building blocks are there for the city administration to achieve the transformative goal. So that is actually one of the reasons we rally behind this kind of visionary leaders, committed leaders to actually make positive impact on on everyday Ethiopians or everyday people in Addis Ababa.
Yeah, you've already talked about the early childhood development program initiated by Mayor Adanech Abebe and just being implemented in Addis Ababa particularly. So every mayor has its own objectives, goals to achieve. For example, had opportunity to talk to the mayor of Freetown, and she told me that she has a goal of creating thousands of jobs for the youth. And the goal of the Mayor Addis Ababa, the mayor of Addis Ababa, is just to create a city, the best city for raising children. So in terms of its goal, how do you see the goal itself? It is good for just creating good generations, for just building generations. How do you see the goal itself?
You know, this is well taught and sort of very important goal that was articulated by Mayor Adanich, because you know, brain develops like 80% of human brain develops during the first 1,000 days of children's life, or a child's life. So it's very, very important to sort of intervene in those early days, whether it is parental coaching, nurturing care, or early stimulation, or early learning opportunities through daycare centers, or making children school ready. This is very, very important. So why it's important is it changes the development trajectory of children, and also in the long term it actually changes the economic trajectory of the country. Early childhood development and malnutrition is inextricably linked, and if children are malnourished, then they cannot attain their full developmental potential. So that's why also nutrition is one of the components of early childhood development. So this is critical to build the nation. It's a long-term smart investment to sort of develop the economy, increase the gross domestic product. So early childhood development, setting early childhood development as her legacy goal is actually a smart move. It's also a smart investment for Addis Ababa city administration. I really want to also talk about the corridor development we've seen over the last few days. The activities that are underway to build pedestrian lanes, bike lanes, also to sort of develop green spaces, playgrounds for children, parks for adults. It's very, very important initiative because urbanization rate is very, very high in our country and in Africa in general, and you have to build the city for the future. So to build the city for the future, then the green development, the parks, and some of these free spaces are really, really needed, and this is also, it really contributes to the early childhood development efforts that the city administration is focusing on, but also in general in Ethiopia, the activities around green development and city beautification is really good.
Some African mayors, including representatives from global organizations, came here to Addis Ababa, and you were part of the delegation, and just you toured the city and just saw a lot of initiatives, particularly playgrounds for children. This showed that the city administration has been exerting efforts on children. My question is, why those African mayors and representatives came here?
It's actually a very important question. So many African countries have their own programs be it in nutrition, multi-sectoral nutrition program, or holistic early childhood development program. The unique feature of Addis Ababa Early Childhood Development Program, or the future hope of Addis ECD program, is it's sort of it's implemented across the government, and also it's supported by the community. If you take a child, one child, first from antenatal care during pregnancy, the touch point is the health sector, and then throughout up to 3 years of age, then they come to health centers for immunization, for treatment, and then they sort of are exposed to parental counseling, responsive parenting, but also the children sort of have play corners in the health sector to sort of get early learning opportunities to practice learn through play. But that particular child actually have the opportunity also to go to, for instance, playgrounds, play on weekends, outside of, when they are not in the daycare center or when they are not at home, they have access to playgrounds. And then when these children are 4 years, then they will be accessing pre-primary school education. So what is unique for Addis Ababa ECD program is all structures are available. It's holistic, it's implemented by multiple sectors, and it's also integrated, and the mayor and the leadership of the city administration have up close oversight of the program. So that is why some of these countries, for instance, people came from Tanzania, Zanzibar, from Zambia, all the way from Sierra Leone, for instance, and also and also from Kenya. So they really want to see how Addis Ababa has implemented holistic early childhood development, which includes the health, the social protection, education, and also learn through play, and of course school feeding and supplementary feeding. Everything is very comprehensive, and this is a very good model to emulate for other countries as well. So that is why they really wanted to see the program, and they wanted to discuss with the leaders. Most importantly, they wanted to visit some of these sites, some of these interventions. For instance, they met parental coaches. They went to households, and they sort of understood how parents are exercising, or how parents are practicing responsive parenting, whether the child is young, 0 to 3 years of age, or older child, 3 to 6 years of age. So that's around health. Also, they went to pre-primary school. Pre-primary schools. The pre-primary schools are transformed because they are actually practicing play-based learning. Not really the traditional classroom learning. So, and also they have seen some playgrounds that were developed based on scientific evidence that they could contribute to children's milestones development, and daycare centers. Especially what the city administration did as a quick win is they actually established daycare centers in all public organizations, public institutions. It's called employer supported daycare center. So this is very, very important because civil servants can actually send their children to these daycare centers. They will be more engaged in work, productivity will increase, but most importantly, the children will have the opportunity to learn early and to sort of interact with caregivers. So the main reason that these leaders from African countries came to see the future of hope at this ECD program is to actually understand how Mayor Adanich deployed all these very, very important interventions, initiatives. How did she resource it? Who are the critical stakeholders? Who is the key team to actually sort of drive the implementation? And how does the city administration sort of track the progress, monitor the implementation? So this will give other countries to actually benchmark some good programs and sort of contextualize their own program based on Addis ECD program. So I think they found it very useful and they were really excited to sort of design some similar program, but in their own context.
Yeah. Well, Doctor, others, if it attracts the attention of Africans, the attention of international communities this much, I think it plays a great role in diplomacy, in the diplomacy of the country. Does it?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm Ethiopian, you know. I'm happy that, our sisters and brothers in Africa actually want to sort of learn something from Ethiopia. And they genuinely believe that what Ethiopia is doing is really good. And they really want to sort of adapt some of these programs and some of these interventions to their own settings. In terms of the diplomatic importance of the visit, definitely there is no question, because this is about Ethiopia, this is about Addis Ababa, this is about having children having better future for themselves and also for our country. So all this will add up to make of course, Ethiopia is making very, very good progress in terms of economy, in terms of social development, and also in other aspects. And the role of this visit is also big to sort of place Ethiopia, to make Ethiopia one of the best destinations for development. So that's actually part of the diplomacy as well.
Yeah. Nutrition, health, education, and playing, it is vital for children. And a lot of initiatives are there in the continent Africa, like the initiative Early Childhood Program in Ethiopia. So how do you support these programs in Africa?
Yeah, so we work in several countries in Africa actually, and Ethiopia is one of those countries. As I said, we really work with committed public leaders, public officials, government leaders. And if we take, for instance, the Early Childhood Development Program in Addis, it's largely financed by the government. The government is like the major sort of financer of the program. These 5,000 parental coaches were hired through the government salary, through the budget from the treasury. What we do as Big Win is we support the government achieve its objectives, its goals. For instance, if they need some training, we try to sort of bring expertise so that they train the parental coaches or healthcare workers. And if some practitioners or implementers need exposure to other programs in other countries, then we sort of facilitate learning journeys, some leadership exchanges, so that south to south collaboration is strengthened, but most importantly, countries are learning from each other, and as a continent we develop together, right? So our investment is just to rally behind the government, to support, catalyze what the government is doing in terms of training, in terms of supporting in some soft skills, for instance, digitization, data management, and the data use for course correction. So some of those areas are where we sort of rally behind the government, but most of the interventions you've seen, all of the interventions I would say were financed by the government of Ethiopia, and in this case by Addis Ababa City Administration.
All right, Doctor, let me take you to the final question. That's about Addis Ababa. I know you visited the Adwa Victory Memorial. So what is your impression about the memorial? And just you have a little touched the corridor development programs. So the Addis Ababa is just being transformed to be a better city. So how do you see the memorial particularly?
Yeah, I mean, Adwa is really different. It's really unique. I mean, from historical point of view, having Africa Victory Hall, at the heart of Addis is very, very good. I was really happy to see Adwa. That is historically very, very important, but also, having this conference halls, meeting halls, multi-purpose meeting halls, and some of these facilities are really, really important, and that is some of the things we need. Addis Ababa is the capital of Africa, the capital of Ethiopia. So, you need some of these like leading edge facilities like Adwa to sort of host big conferences, important conferences, where people from Ethiopia, also from African continent, come and attend. So I was so happy to see Adwa. That was my first time. But in general, I sort of take a tour around the city, and the redevelopment, the green initiative, the green legacy initiative, what's really being carried out in Addis is very encouraging. It's about building the city for the future. It's about creating better opportunities for our children, for our people. So I think it's really very, very I was so happy to see some of these things. So I think once this sort of redevelopment is completed, once the pedestrian lanes or bike lanes are completed, we will see, we will be able to see a different Addis Ababa, which makes me very happy, and I'm sure most people are happy about the development, about the corridor development as well. But in general, the sort of the city is very vibrant, and you see a lot of activities, a lot of constructions, a lot of things, and that's actually really good to see. Yeah.
Dr. Taye, I really thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jonas. Thank you.
Well, everyone, that was Dr. Taye Tolera, Senior Program Director at Big Win Philanthropy. Until we meet you next week with another guest, have a wonderful time.